Hey, Green Team, howdy, howdy, and welcome. So nice to be hanging out with you. Just wanted to pop in here today and give you a few updates, and we're going to have our spotlight on the Philippines. So we'll dive into that a tad more in a couple minutes. But first, just a quick update. So we started our Summer Arts Fundraiser Series last week with Malika Yates, who is Elite Miss Delaware Earth, doing the plant-based cooking demo. You can still find that video. It's on YouTube and Facebook. And we were able to raise a little bit of money for that, and also planting 8 trees with Plant for the Planet Philippines. So we're going to be talking more about that in a minute when Dan Diez joins us. So this week, Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, we will have a live mini concert with Lori Dameron. And Lori is a singer, songwriter, activist who does all kinds of things. She has a program called Spaceship Earth, What Can I Do? She's a trained climate reality leader, and she uses music to get out there and inspire people to take action. But today, the concert is just going to be a lot of fun, just listening to some of her original songs. So, hope you can join us. And for each person that donates this week, you will get we'll also be planting a tree on your behalf, but you'll also get entered to win our prize, which is 4 tickets to our August 3rd Wild and Scenic Film Festival and a digital copy of Lori's CD, Utah Dreams, which we'll be hearing some of those songs today. So, very excited about all of that and leading up to our August 3rd Wild and Scenic Film Festival, where we're going to be featuring all these amazing stories of youth and Black, Indigenous, people of color, Latina, and it's just going to be so fun. So I'm excited about that. And that the whole goal with that is to inspire you to think about, to see people who've gotten together and made a difference. And that leads us to the 2021 International Climate Action Challenge that kicks off on August 18th. If you're interested in participating, you need to make sure that you apply by August 1st in order to get in on that. We do have scholarships available. And also, if you want to sponsor a challenger, sponsor a team, then you can do that as well. All right, so that is the intro. And so, as we're talking about the 2021 Climate Action Challenge, I thought a really fun way to do this would be to flip back and let you know what some of the teams did previously. And so what we're going to do in this session is I'm going to introduce you by way of their profiles to some of the teams that participated in the 2020 challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I will do that right here. Okay. So if you want to know more about the challenge, you just go to climateactionchallenge.net. And from this main page, if you're interested in participating in the challenge, that's where you click to get into our 5 video series and check it out. But we're going to go into meeting the challengers. But also, if you just want to get the book or the workbook, then you can do that as well. All right, so let's meet some of the challengers. And just kind of as a quick reminder, so the challenge, it's this 90-day challenge. And last year, during those 90 days, our top 29 teams, we had participation from 385 team members in 14 countries. So we're talking about Bangladesh, Colombia, Nigeria, Uganda, just really amazing. And they planted 43,198 trees, started 55 gardens and 2 urban farms, and just made such a big impact. So let's go ahead and look here at the Philippines teams first. And let me pull this over here. Okay. All right. And I'm going to bring Dan on to our stream too. There's Dan. So let's see here. So Dan, okay. I'm not sure where to do all this. Okay. So howdy, Dan.
Yes. Great morning, everyone. Happy World Oceans Day here in the
Ooh,
Philippines. One day
nice.
ahead. So June 8th is World Oceans Day. Green team.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for popping in, Dan. And yeah, I was just getting ready to do a quick intro to some of the Philippines projects. So if you have details that you want to add, then please do. So I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Uh,
So thankful for those who are joining in from the Philippines for the climate action challenge last year, and so fortunate that there were a lot from the Philippines. They are our friends and partners. Knowed about the challenge because being a green team partner here in the Philippines, we've been sharing and promoting this climate action yearly, and we hope that this year, 2021, there'll be double of
yes.
this climate action from the Philippines, doing grassroots sustainable development goals program. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's such a great partnership. So we'll remember to talk about that, your Eco Leaders Boot Camp as well. So I'll start with the group that Reina Baroto started, which is called Juan for Nature, which is a great name because Juan for nature, she said, it also kind of sounds like one for nature, but in the Philippines, Juan kind of means like that every man. It's everyone, and so it means
Mhm,
everyone has a role in taking care of nature. And
mhm,
remember that all these projects were doing this during the pandemic, so you can see they're wearing masks here, but they had an idea to first start by doing education about about solid waste management, and that was the issue that they saw, that there's a lot of waste in their community.
mhm,
And what they learned by doing these different sessions was that that there really wasn't enough places to actually take your waste to have it taken
mhm,
care of. And so what they did was they actually just built their own material recovery facility. I just love this, that they went out and found, worked with locals who had extra bamboo lumber and coconut lumber and used that. They got a roof from a junk shop and they just took it into their own hands. And then once they had this amazing facility here, they're able to sell like the plastic and the cans and have a
mhm,
little bit of money in order to do some of their other projects. The other thing that I thought was very cool is that they did Zumba classes outdoors.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
it's the pandemic, everybody's kind of locked up inside, and they realized this is something our community needs, a way to get together that's safe that we can do.
Mhm.
And they had no skills or background to do this. They just saw my message is that you are the expert on your own community. So they knew what their community needed and they just did it.
Yeah, it's really important to address these community problems. There are international policies, there are national policy, there are citywide policy, but on the ground, there are gaps, and we really need climate action team or grassroots eco leaders or whatever to come up with creative community solutions. And this is just one example. You don't need a lot of money. You just get all these resources. Start with few teams and then engage the small community you have, and let them realize that they are part of the solution. And with a simple cleanup and putting up a bin because they don't have, people can't throw, they don't know where to throw and how to throw. So a recycling bin or a segregator are important. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
One for nature.
It's like it's just such a beautiful project. And so really encourage you to go to climateactionchallenge.net and listen to the video there that Raina put together about how their team
Mhm.
came about. We just spoke with her the other day. They're working on a blood donation
Yeah,
thing, you know, because right now the Philippines is going through restrictions for the pandemic still. So finding ways to be of service no matter what's going on is pretty impressive.
yeah.
So how about
Serve without fear. So it's called service without fear and with proper protocols to
mm,
protect ourselves, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, so these are uh, mentoring and connecting with local leaders is also important. Joining the climate action because you know when you have this idea, you need some mentors or local experts who can guide you. And I'm
yeah,
so happy that we've been helping this One for Nature and doing grassroots waste management in their area. So good
yeah.
job.
Yeah,
We
yay,
are
one for
one with
nature.
nature.
Exactly. So the next one that we wanted to talk about was Earth Fairies, and Earth Fairies was started. This is the most amazing video. I hope you have a chance to watch it because Dorothy is has learned a lot of videography, and so her video is a top a top video to watch. Um, but yeah, what happened was that Dorothy had participated in the Eco Leaders Boot Camp in the Philippines that Seed for Calm is part of putting on or leads. And then she heard about the Climate Action Challenge, so she signed up for it. And their initial idea was let's try and get people to do more urban farming. So let's do a blog and a vlog, like a video blog, to get people excited. But then when we started hearing about what they were doing, we were like, wait a second. As they, so one of the steps in the Climate Action Challenge process is to identify potential partners. And so through that process and through discussions with Dorothy, I was remembering, oh, wait a second, you know, Dan and Seed for Calm the is helping or running the Philippines food garden movement. So maybe they have something. And so she looped back with them, and there was a HOA that had property, and this food garden movement was involved. And as a result, Earth Fairies was able to come in as workers to make this, to implement this urban farm idea. And they needed volunteers to be on the ground, and Earth Fairies needed a project. They didn't have a farm. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So maybe Dan, you could say more about that because I know she was working directly with you guys and with Geo.
Yeah, so luckily we had a place because of the team Earth Fairies. They were so magical that they provided us the a space from the material recovery facility of their local barangay, where it's local community, and then the homeowners association officers are very interested and cooperative to establish this 7H urban permaculture farm. So that's how it started from the idea to reality. So ongoing is our community farm, although there's restrictions in the capital of Manila, the NCR National Capital Region. But she lives there in the community. She's been very active, and her members are young people, so limited to travel, but ongoing on the ground. We have capacitate women in permaculture. They designed this area, and we are now working maybe for the past 6 months, and we're so happy we got Australian permaculture fund. We got a grant like 2,000 Australian
Mm.
dollars, and we split it into two communities, one for women in where she lived, and the other is with person with disabilities in another city. So thank you, Gio, who is our team captain leader there in the capital, because I live in Cebu, in the middle of the Philippines. around 7,600 islands. So yeah,
Yeah.
so thank
Yeah.
you, Earth Fairies. They're doing magic work, and we hope more Earth Fairies in other cities that we can promote this food garden. It was very timely, Joanne, because people really are the fear of having no food, and because of the COVID pandemic and then restriction, people went into we call this plantito plantita, so they make their own uh, gardens, and we convince them, like, instead of plants for the bees and butterflies, plant for food. And this is how food garden movement materialized. So we are now 1 year already, and we're building communities, lots that are not being used. And if we get permission, we plant, we make it green. Yeah.
Yeah. So go Earth Fairies. But Dorothy is 18 years old and she just came in this idea on
Mhm.
September 1st. Like, let's see if we can get some more people to do urban farming. And by the end, their group is doing it and has their own
Yeah.
farm that they can work on. So
Yeah.
it's, a lot of what happens in the environmental world is we're saying, no, don't do this, don't stop doing that. And you
Yeah, the moment
very,
you hear people don't do for people and planet, just do it.
yeah, yeah. And so, having something positive that you can do very quickly. This is the thing. I think her example especially just shows you how quickly you just go from idea to actually, being able to work in this urban permaculture garden that is really making a difference, especially during the pandemic. So our next challenger is Daniel Agan from Youth Proyecto Philippines, and Daniel's another person that we met through the Eco Leaders Boot Camp in the Philippines by being a remote presenter. And Daniel just he's doing so many things. He actually signed up for 2 different projects with us in the challenge, which is something that you can do. But here's one where his goal was to get people to be attending the Philippine Eco Festival in November of 2020. And so there's another one coming up in 2021. And I think that so here's his impact. They had 39 members that put together this event. They had been doing in-person events in the previous years, so they had to figure out how to shift it all up and do it virtually. And they had 10 activities over 8 days. Their goal was to get 300 people, but they got 487. They had 10 partnerships with and hosted 25 organizations worldwide. So, this is another one too. With each person that we interviewed, we asked them their advice. And here was Daniel's. He says, if you believe your actions can bring impact to your community, don't hesitate to start. Let your voice be heard and let your actions be an inspiration to others. So if you're aware of the climate and environmental crisis, stand up and start the action. Um, so did you have something, do you want to add to that, Dan?
Yeah, so this is one of the example of, like, advocacy pageantry. I got to know one of they are our Seed for Com organizational partner, Mr. Philippines, and Daniel is one of the finalists, and he won maybe top three something. I forgot, but he was part of the major winner, and because of that, before you enter to pageantry, you really have to do advocacy work on environment. And then after winning, he come up with this project organization, Youth Proyecto Philippines, like Youth Project Philippines. And I was also being invited to speak in person, do sessions when they started few years back, and so happy that whoever we helped with, or partner with, they become more stronger as a group. They want to expand in different regions. So we need more groups because we are so many islands and we cannot do it alone. So let's get it done together.
Exactly. Wow, I did not know that he was that he was the Mr. Philippine Earth, or what is
Yeah,
it?
he was
That's
Mr.
so cool.
Mr. Earth, Mr. Yeah, Earth Philippines, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Malika Yates, who's the Elite Miss
Yeah.
Delaware Earth, and Sheila DeForest, who's the Mrs. Eco
Yeah.
International. It's
Yeah.
amazing that environmental pageantry really does propel some leaders. So,
Mhm.
so that's super cool. Okay, so next I want to show you real quick, and then I want to talk about. Remind me to make sure we talk about the Eco Leaders Boot Camp next. Um, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little overview. So, what we're doing with this fundraising series this summer is that very cool thing is that Green Team Academy just became a nonprofit. So, woo woo.
Ooh,
So, yeah,
congratulations.
thank you.
Cheers.
Exactly. Okay, Dan just did the happy dance, so that was great. Um, so yeah, so I mean, what part of it was that I was running the project myself, and by making a nonprofit, that says, this belongs to the community. And so the first thing we do is we go to the community and say, if you'd like us to do this work, please support us. Just like Colorado Public Radio or National Public Radio. If you listen, you want this resource to be here. So similar. Um, so our goal is to raise $25,000 before the start of the Climate Action Challenge in 2021, and we want to launch 250 teams. Last year it was 86. So we figured, why not do 3 times more? Because it's 3 times more important every year. And so what we're doing with this is, if you go to this link is in your page here. When you go to the link, you can see all the different ways you can partner, you can make a donation, you can volunteer with us, you can become a sponsor. I was saying kind of before Dan joined that Lori Dameron is doing a performance today. And it will be on our Facebook page and YouTube if you miss it. So she's a singer songwriter, so that'll be fun. And here's our whole list of all of our events coming up, which I guess we looked at a tad earlier. But next week, Carola Parikh is 14 years old. She's a co-founder of a natural products company, and she's going to be showing us how to make bath bombs and bath salts. We're also doing a joint fundraiser for Siwa International to help with COVID relief in India. And the next
Ooh.
week is our virtual paint and sip. So we have all kinds of fun stuff going on here. But the cool thing is, if you donate, you see a tree here. So if you donate, then we'll be reserving $3 of your donation to send to Plant for the Planet Philippines. And
Wow.
so, Dan, do you want to talk a little bit? I know we're going to go into more details about this later. Let me remove that, bring this over. But do you want to give us a little hint about what Plant for the Planet Philippines is and how you guys are all connected and what you're doing?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Green Team. So this year, our focus more on greening aside from cleaning up. And we know this theme for the Earth Day is ecosystem restoration. And we know how important those trees, the sea grass, the corals, mangroves from reef to ridge. So our campaign, we partner with Plan for the Planet Global, based in Germany. I got the chance to know them in 2015 when I was in Germany. And then one of our youth leader, Justin Regan, um, Kua, he became one of the officers of Global Board in the Plan for the Planet movement. And then after that, we set up this Philippine page, and we are hoping to be one of the Philippine official partner for the Plan for the Planet Philippines, for the Planet Global, because they don't have plan yet for Asia, but we volunteer since we've been doing this clean up and green up program. So your support for the Climate Action Week and all the fundraising with Joanne, we will be able to plant a tree for you. These will be scattered all over the country. We have a team partnering with faith-based churches, so we can plant these trees in their church premises. So we're greening these churches. And then second, we have fisher folks in the island. So we're giving fruit trees, and they plant it in their home backyard, so they can harvest these fruits. And we also have some selected indigenous people in Mindanao as our partner. So we're hoping to compile this and put it online for you to choose, no, which to support, and we will name it under you as providing the seedling and planting. But the growing is with our partner communities of Supercom nationwide. So, and we will utilize the app, the Plan for the Planet app that is already uploaded globally. You don't just have to choose to plant in the Philippines, but you can choose to plant anywhere in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're so excited about that. I mean, especially like $3 for a tree is really cool, because I know that, from speaking with Gio earlier, that he's really passionate about growing indigenous species and growing them from seeds, and that you have a nursery project going. So you're really, really working on how to do it and to source things sustainably. And so $3 a tree compared to maybe some places you can do for $1 a tree. And I know when we were working with our team in Kenya, they were able to do $1 a tree. But I think $3 is a really nice amount to be able to, to have give a little bit more leeway, so you can make sure that it is resourced sustainably, or if you need to build a
Yeah.
nursery, or do some of those things for a longer term.
Yeah, so those that the $3 means seed for com is one, Joanne is two, and we need you to be three. So that's three.
I
To
love
make
it.
it happen. It's plan
Yeah,
at three, with number three.
I love it. Yeah.
And
And
yeah, it's not just the seedlings, but the transportation from different place to the island, and then our beneficiaries or partners has been benefiting from our program. So it's their counterpart. And anyway, they will reap the harvest. And anytime you go visit the Philippines, you can pick the fruit of that tree. So you will be remembered.
yeah,
Or you can
exactly.
climb with the monkeys.
Yeah. Well, and one of the reasons that we chose the Philippines is that we want to demonstrate climate justice and allow people to take action for climate justice. I just saw one of those graphs the other day that shows the average American's carbon footprint, that's just
Yeah.
huge. And then European is like, nearly half of that. And everybody else is just kind of a fraction. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that's hard for us to, the way things are designed here, that we do tend to have a very big impact. So that we really promote a two-prong approach. One is to get into the challenge with us in 2021, or if you can't, then sponsor a team. We've got a team from Yemen that needs scholarships. They're at war, they're in a humanitarian crisis, and they've got, gosh, I think almost 10 people now registered on their team. And so for $1,000, someone can do a scholarship for a group like that. But here in the US or wherever it is, we need to also be taking responsibility to making things, cutting the emissions at the source, working on environmental justice, climate justice, any kind of community issue that you see, social justice. to do that here, and then at the same time we can be investing in trees in the Philippines where they're most at risk of experiencing the impacts of climate change.
Yeah, that's right, Joanne. Yeah, thank you very much. And we hope you be able to support not only Seed for Calm, but be active in this climate action challenge. Be a sponsor, be a patron, be a volunteer. Anything that you do positively, for sure, we will harvest the fruits in due time. And, teaching people, young people, this is our legacy that they be able to continue the good things that we do for people and planet.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. And Dan, you can go to sleep now because it's like almost midnight. So thanks for staying up with us.
Yeah, see you soon, Joanne. So be safe, everyone. Keep on serving the people and planet. Happy World Oceans Day, and tomorrow you will celebrate that. And every time you eat fish, think of our fishermen who caught them sustainably and support these local fishers. Here in the Philippines, fishermen and farmers are poor and we are providing a livelihood program for them. So planting is part of our game plan. Thank you
Yeah.
and good morning,
Yeah. And
Denver,
good evening.
Colorado,
Right. And
USA.
good night, Philippines. Okay. Thanks, Dan. All right. Okay.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
All right, everybody. So remember to, join us any way you can. If you go to greenteamacademy.com, you can find the link to the Climate Action Challenge. You can find the link to our Summer Arts fundraisers. And we really appreciate you being part of the team. And remember, the time for action is now because there is no Planet B. See you soon.